What's up? Pick Central. Thursday, November 21st?
That's correct.
Do you remember? Do you remember the dates, Smitty? Do you remember? Marty, do you remember?
21st night, September.
All-time song. Maybe my sister's favorite song of all time.
Not yours?
The whole little dance. Nah, I like the song though.
Yeah, you
Maybe I'll blog some disco songs. I like the one right back where we started from, and Heaven Must Have Sent You by Bonnie Pointer. Or the Pointer Sisters.
What's your number one disco tune?
Probably that. Heaven Must Have Sent You. Have you ever heard that?
Yeah.
We play that, or are we gonna get banned from play it? Pull that clip.
We're probably going to get banned.
Dude, I love how Booze just doesn't get it.
One of your sisters.
10 years.
That might be the most
Being
illegal
number
thing
one.
we could do
Yeah,
on YouTube.
exactly.
Yeah.
And Booze is like, we can't do that. I'm like, I know, buddy. Brought to you by Cars.com. Cars.com is a leading digital marketplace that connects car shoppers with their perfect car, celebrating 25 years of helping shoppers research, find inventory, finance, and sell cars. Wherever life takes you next and whoever you're looking to be, there's a car for that on Cars.com. Up to 50,000 cars are added daily to Cars.com. Shop over 2 million cars for 2 million possibilities. Find your next possibility on Cars.com. Where to next? All right, a couple things. We got Brad coming up at like 11:30. I think Eddie's going to join in with some of this Bears
Eddie's here.
nonsense. Let's, I guess, kind of start there. Just how ridiculous it really is. I was I was in Chicago yesterday while guys were kind of getting some of the breakdown. The coach actually got arrested, but Peanut Tillman is not in the FBI.
Yeah,
There's a lot of layers to this story. It felt very internet story, like it was.
I'm convincing myself still that Peanut Tillman's the head guy. I know he's not, but it's a funny thing to think about.
The
Tillman
fact that no insider reporter has actually come out with the details means to me it's really bad.
It's the worst thing possible, and I've
They're
heard.
waiting to get it.
I've heard like.
They need to have it.
I'm not saying what I've heard, but I did hear what it's like entails, and it's like if you could think it's like the worst thing you can do.
If the FBI is involved and it's this kind of situation, it's very disturbing and horrible.
Is it like Jared from Subway?
Yes. If allegedly, I don't know obviously what's going on.
Yeah, we don't have any details. We don't know.
Just like
We're not reporting that.
Yeah,
Though.
that's where it's.
But yeah, it's
better to.
if you're.
But I guess
well, he's not gonna coach again. No one's coming out with what he did. Like all the misinformation. There's bad.
Coaches were crying yesterday, like having.
Well, you saw his statement. It's personal health issues.
Yeah.
He's taking a break.
Wait, can we?
That's crazy.
Can we
So,
let
let's
Eddie
get
in?
Eddie in more so, not necessarily the like breaking down or trying to discover the criminal activity, but just
There's
sense of
that
a Bears.
Chicago scumbag who's in quarterback purgatory. How we doing, Ed?
What's up? How we doing? Heard it all.
Yeah, I was with you guys yesterday. It's really, it doesn't even seem like you're mad. It just kind of seems like, I don't even know, like just shocked, I guess. Like how if it was going to be a disastrous season and you go 4-13, that's one thing. To have it blow up like this 3 weeks in with off the field stuff and guys going after coaches, like I can't even imagine where you're at. It feels very Mets, to be honest with you.
It's terrible, but now it's like become so Bears. I mean, it's harrowing looking down for 15 more games, knowing that you got to deal with this. Obviously, not even to mention our ace got rocked last night, where Cubs are in a bad spot.
Hey, yeah,
things are bad. And friend of this program,
Yep, friend of the program.
it's bad. Things are bad.
So this is what I want to, because we can't really. The coaching stuff is like so crazy that's just a very bad thing happening, but.
But we don't know what happened.
Yeah, I know.
knows
That's why I'm not.
Yeah, but Eddie, did you hear what I said about how nobody's reporting exactly like the details of it? That makes it seem so bad, like state pen level of shit going down.
But that's all hearsay, Smitty. Listen, nobody's saying what's going on, but there is nothing that I have seen that says that there was anything in regards to an arrest or a raid or anything like that. That's all been fluffed from.
So where'd it
Twitter.
come from?
He's fired, right? Like he's fired. He stepped down.
He resigned.
He resigned.
The only reason why it got tricky is because the Bears just said in their statement, Alan Williams, defensive coordinator, has resigned. They didn't wish him well. They didn't say we thank him for his service, which is always like, oh, something more definitely happened, but we don't know the severity of it. He could have been He could have been betting on the game. He could have been.
But wasn't there a raid? There wasn't a raid at Hallis Hall, but wasn't there a raid on his house by the FBI?
That has been unproven anyways. We would have seen shit by now, right?
It's
There would have
true.
been.
Yeah, I think it's very internet. It got out of control.
So what you're
real
saying
fast.
is one person basically made up a story of Peanut Tillman being in the FBI, raiding the Bears facility, his house, and going to the head coach and owner and saying what's going down.
As soon as I saw Peanut Tillman, I knew like it smelled fish. Come on, Smitty. John Runyon picked up fucking DeAndre Swift. That's not how it works.
Former Congressman John Runyon knows shit that you don't, Eddie. So you don't know that.
So
Yeah, I know.
Ed, obviously, like that's what I'm saying. We can't really talk much about it because we don't know what the fuck's going on. There's I'm still gonna go with Peanut Tillman being the head FBI guy because that's just funny. But
He is a part of the FBI, though, isn't he? Isn't that confirmed?
Wait, he really is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why he was just thrown in there.
Wait, Peanut Tillman's really the FBI?
That's awesome.
Oh, that's amazing. Wow, imagine
Yeah.
Peanut Tillman ramming down your door.
Eddie, how about this?
It's great.
I asked Eddie yesterday. Eddie said he didn't want to be, if you were in the FBI, he would not want to be like a house raid guy.
Oh,
He
I
doesn't like the
love
thrill.
to
He's
be
more of
a
a
house
stakeout
raid
guy.
guy.
What I heard was that Peanut Tillman, he's not like a part of the investigation, but he like let the Bears know like what was happening. That's what I saw.
Why would he? Isn't that a breach of confidence or like a conflict of interest?
Or maybe the FBI sent him. Maybe J. Edgar just shot him over to.
That's
be a piece.
concerning, Ed, that you wouldn't want to be the raid guy. That's awesome.
Oh, no way. That's scary. You don't know what's on the other side of that door. I want to be in the van cranking the volume, listening to what's going on. That's the move. That's the spot.
Looking at the clock for 45 seconds. Yeah.
So what I wanted to have you on for is because whenever I'm right about something, people think, oh, Mari's obsessed with this person now. No, I just like being right because I'm never right a lot, and I'm right about Justin Fields. Chief wrote a blog yesterday being like, oh, this is like he's letting loose, like he's blaming the coaches. That's the last thing you want from your quarterback, no matter what. If it's true or not, you keep that in-house because it creates nonsense for the locker room. You know that.
Did you read the quote or did you hear the quote?
I heard it, and he still said it. Like he still said coaches. Like it wasn't like I know it was a little misinterpreted, but like he still said coaches.
But that's not the way I interpreted it, the way that he said it. When I interpreted what he said, and you guys tell me if it's wrong, I don't know if you could pull the clip. Rico, Smitty, Clemmer, whoever wants to weigh in, especially Dukes. I'd love to hear his take on this. What I interpreted as is there's too much information coming in his head, and he's not just playing. It's not like
but that's
something he was like, oh, it's the coaching's bad. It's just there's too much going on, and he's reacting to the coaching, not what he's seeing on the
You
field.
can't air that out publicly, though, Eddie. Like you have to do that behind closed doors. The second you bring the media involved, you say coaches. That's a huge misstep by him. I mean, you can't do that.
Yeah, I agree with Clemmer. It's a two-way argument here. Like I agree with Eddie that he didn't mean it that much, but the media's going to blow it out of proportion regardless.
Totally. I get it. I get it. If you want to say it was, but even if you listen to it, I don't think it was something where he was being an asshole. I really don't think he was being a dick.
I don't think he was being a dick. I don't think he was being an asshole, but I do think saying coaches is a reason for some misstep is no matter what going to get blown out of proportion. And I don't know if he knows this, but the coaches aren't talking to him during the play. He's making bad decisions himself, so I don't know what.
That last interception wasn't the coach's fault. I mean, that was just.
Well, it kind of was because they ran the same formation 3 times in a row. So that one.
Marty, I tend to disagree. I tend to disagree. I think someone like a Tua definitely like. He gets help from having a guy like McDaniels in his ear.
No, see, this is where you're not. That's not what I said. I'm not saying the coaching staff's the best. I'm not saying that, but you're still okay. When I saw this stat, and this is because these are good quarterbacks. Because every time Big Ev like, oh, the defense is horrible. When like the Colts and the Packers, like when they were very good, their defenses were awful. The 2016 Packers were 29th ranked D. Doesn't mean that I'm not saying I know it's Aaron Rodgers against Justin Fields. I'm not saying that's what should be compared, but like the excuses keep coming for this guy. When do they stop? I get being a fan and wanting to really just hope for anything. Listen, I've done it with Daniel Jones. I literally do it every day. I still don't know if he's definitely the guy, but he's our guy. You know what I mean? Like I'm being honest about my guy, but when are you gonna let this? What do you do with him?
All right, timeout too. I will say he did clarify his comments as well in that afternoon. He said, I didn't want it to make it seem like I was blaming the coaches. I can play better, point blank, period.
Yeah, because he got
someone got his ear
yelled at.
too. I mean,
okay, but he did take ownership. Just want to put. He didn't have to do that. Not
he
everyone
did.
would have done
He
that.
absolutely had to do that. What are we doing, Eddie? Come on, you know that.
It's so classic for like him to be like, oh, like the media classically taking my words and
I mean-
twisting it. It's like you said it like that. I've never been like
I like this guy too, but man, he really stepped it yesterday.
Eddie. And help me. I'm gonna help you out here. I think that Bears fans kind of thought that he could be a top 10 quarterback when clearly I don't think he is, but I still believe he could be a 10 to 20 top 15 quarterback in the league.
Dukes, you're supposed to be on my side, so thank you.
I don't know if that's from your side. 20th best quarterback.
No, I'm saying I mean, Marty, we've talked in this show all year about how
Yeah,
the
I mean, even once-
marginality between
yeah.
10 and 20 is very slim.
Once you start getting down that
You
list,
don't
it's
want
like-
to be.
Eddie, I don't know if you recall last year when the Eagles played the Bears, I was complimenting Justin Fields very much. I saw a lot of similarities to Jalen Hurts and how he can make a big improvement this year. Obviously, he hasn't. But why in the holy fuck aren't they running the ball with him? Called design runs. Anything to get him going.
Listen, Smitty, it's a big problem, and that's why the season to start has been so baffling. Because after we lost to the Commanders, and I think it was week 6 last year, Thursday Night Football, week 7 through the end of the year, that's when he was awesome. He was historic on his legs. He was historic on the ground. He was breaking records all over the place, and for some reason, we regressed into what happened at the beginning of last year to start this year. I will admit too, like especially in this last game against the Bucs, there's been like alarming things. It doesn't look like he read defense as well. It doesn't look like he's being able to see the whole field, and he kind of looks like he's in sludge, like he's like in slow motion almost. He's admitted so. It's almost like he's not playing and he's not reacting to the game, but he's just kind of going through. I don't want to say going through the motions, but he's just not trying to make shit happen.
He's going to need to improve as a passer no matter what if he's going to succeed in the league. That's for sure. But 4 carries for 3 yards, that's unacceptable.
But we were also saying yesterday that we think that he's also trying to prove that he can be a passer as well instead of just running.
But his legs, like you think McNabb early 2000s got the same claims and he was trying to be in the pocket to protect that, but McNabb still took off every once in a while to keep the defense honest.
Well, believe me, Daniel Jones needs to run the ball to be successful.
Agreed.
So like we need that. I get that.
Efficient. Maybe not successful. Efficient.
Successful.
Efficient.
1-1.
Yeah.
That's the record.
I don't even think you know what that means.
1 and 2 in about 13 hours here.
I
Mark.
understand. We're 1-1.
So what's the state of the fans, Eddie? Like you're just completely out of it? Because here's the weird thing to me. I don't think the Bears have a fucking shot this week against the Chiefs.
Oh my God, no!
But
you can't get together against the Chiefs.
Weird shit happens in the NFL.
No,
I'm also
no,
saying
no,
that.
no.
So I'm just saying, there's always been some weird shit.
Oh, you
in
think
the
you got a
NFL.
chance, Ed? You think you got a chance to get the Chiefs?
Only because, like you said, weird shit does happen in the NFL.
Come on.
Telling
When
you,
teams
dude.
have nothing else to lose, they play so much better. I couldn't agree more, Eddie.
You guys are in.
When you got nothing else to lose, when you have nothing else to lose, you play inherently
what
better.
do me and Smitty talk about all the time? The survivor leagues.
Can I tell you?
The top pick this week is the Chiefs.
Dude, Fields could run for 25 for 250 and they might have a chance. Like
They're still out there.
guys.
They're still out there playing football. Do I think they're gonna win? No. I'm just saying there's some crazy shit. But back to the fans. Like, you're
That was
just
the dumbest 5 minutes.
Oh, that's
wasn't.
you guys.
It really wasn't.
I feel bad for
I'm
Eddie.
not
He's
saying
setting himself
you.
up for a long Sunday.
The fact that you got Elba Chata being like they have a chance. They have no chance. They
No
have,
chance.
I don't
They have
think
a 2%
They have
chance.
no chance.
They have 2%.
No chance.
No chance. But crazy shit happens in the NFL.
Yeah, of course.
And it's always with the top pick of the week. That's how it goes.
But some last
If
week,
it was that easy, we'd all be left down the end.
The first 2 weeks, nothing crazy really has happened.
To an extent, I guess. I mean,
Bucks
I
over-
guess. I mean, Mike-
yeah, Bucks are
over
2-0,
49ers.
Commanders are 2-0,
Bucks beat the Bears.
My quarterback's leg exploded, but
Chargers are
I'm saying
0-2.
this really bad team beat a good team.
Yeah, fair enough.
It hasn't happened yet, which I
Bigger-
guess.
Bigger upsets have happened in the NFL. 12.5 isn't the
Yeah,
craziest
you're
upset.
right.
Yeah.
You're right,
Well, I
right. This is what we're doing here, though. Like we're talking.
But we're talking about the Chiefs being the Bears being the
Well,
Chiefs.
it was
the
a
Chiefs haven't looked
segue.
unstoppable.
It was a segue into the fans.
looked
They haven't
good,
looked
though.
on. They haven't looked great.
They beat the Jaguars. Everyone's jerking.
Haven't looked great.
Well, what's the state of the fans, Eddie? You guys, the season's just over now, right? Is there what's like the small wins? Does Fields like turn it around a little bit? Does he show a little bit of progress? Maybe you get a new coach. Like I don't know what the small wins are. That's kind of where, like in a baseball season, like when the Mets were out of it, I thought the young kids now show a little progress. Like if you're out of it in a basketball season, all right, well, we're going to turn you into a scorer. I think there's little wins that you can get along the season as you progress. I don't know what the small wins are going to be here for the Bears. I'll be honest.
The state of the fans is it's about as bad as it has been, which is crazy considering we're 2 games in. I'm going to say it again. It's back to everyone pulling their hair out because Nagy's a moron. It's back to we got a head coach from the CFL for some fucking reason, and he's the worst coach of all time who addresses the locker room from the back. It's bad, dude. People are just fed up because it's the same old Bears. And listen, anyway you slice it too, back to Alan Williams really fast. We lost our defensive coordinator after 2 games. That's not good, regardless of how it happened.
And I agree with you with the being down part because you guys came into the season with more hope than since when, like Mitchell's first year, and
well, a lot had to do with the division as well. Like who's favored? The Lions. The Lions are never favored, so they're a vulnerable favorite to go pick off. Packers are going with, I will say it all the time, a first-year quarterback. Jordan Love's first year starting.
Upset you a little bit, Ed? Sorry, I cut you off.
And the Vikings are bad, so that's the division.
Jordan Love looks like pretty good.
He lost to Atlanta, so he's got a lot to prove. I'm not really. There's still lots to prove. There's a lot to prove.
I like that.
Are people still trying to get Chase Claypool out of town or off the field?
He showed actually a lot more effort
last week than he did week 1, but he was on like the get the fuck off my team list very fast. It was looking really bad. People were
it wasn't a good highlight film from him. Game 1.
Oh no, it's bad.
Hey, can I cheer you up for a second? I think the Cubs have a really good chance. I think they have this great series against the Rockies coming up. I think they're going to take care of business there. I think the Cubs will be a wild card team.
I don't know, Chris. I don't know if I believe that. We got the Braves next week, and
Braves are just playing out the string.
What?
The Braves are just playing out the string at that point. Like they're just setting up for the playoffs. I have you guys right now inked in pen as a wild card spot.
Oh, wow. Chris, you can't say
inked
that.
in, Ed. They're
Inked
in. No, why are you
with the
worried?
ballpoint pen.
Chris Clemens says you're in. You're good.
No, I don't like that. Fucking Expos telling me I'm in. That's not where I want to be.
Yeah.
Well, my team's dead, so I got to root for something.
Well, Ed, I just wanted to have you on because Chief over there is more delusional than you, I will say. He's going back and forth. I've been in that where you're believing your guy, then you want to believe him because you have no other choice, but it's not looking good.
Yeah, and I'll leave on this. I'm not out on him. I'm still gonna run the course. It's still the third year. Listen, if we get to week 10 and things are the same, then of course, like it's time to start looking into Caleb Williams. But and we got a little carried away. I know people keep resurfacing the clip of we have Big Cat on. We're doing the schedule. We said 10-7. I always said this year for the Bears.
That's what everybody does, though, dude. That's what everybody does.
No.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. I've been a Jets fan for the last 12 years. I've made the playoffs. I don't know if I was saying too many 10-7 years.
Oh my God! This year
I was very excited.
You just contradict every thought.
I don't.
Guys love to do that. I always wanted somebody to call Francesa and do it with a baseball schedule. Like, hey, Mike, the Mets looking good next year. The schedule's coming out. They open against the Braves. Win,
loss.
Second game, win, and see how long
We
you
should
can
do that
go.
in the summer.
162.
Go through the Yankees and Mets schedule for 162 games.
That'll work. But yeah, it's you guys are in a tough spot.
Would you rather Bryce Young or Justin Fields?
It's too early to tell.
Way too early.
I will
fun.
say you could resurface that clip too after that Commanders game. And it was right when the Alabama played Tennessee. Remember that game last year?
Yeah.
And he looked phenomenal. I was all about Bryce Young. I was all about him. But then Fields really turned it on, so then I shut Bryce Young off in my head. But we'll see how he is. But right now, still Fields.
Eddie, before you go, can we all agree that the funniest part about this whole entire Bears situation is the fact that they cut Nathan Peterman yesterday and then brought him back today?
He's back.
He's back.
What a shit.
Yeah, that goes.
That's just like, what the fuck?
That was fucked up.
That's just complete chaos. You guys have no idea.
The fact he's back already is insane.
And it was the GM's birthday.
Yep, that's the best for you.
I also just when he blamed it on the coaches, and then I looked on Twitter and I saw the defensive coordinator shit. I immediately was like, oh, that makes sense. Like distractions in the locker room. Maybe he just like isn't playing his best ball because he's got fog in his head. And then when he was like, no, I'm not blaming the coaches, I was like, oh, he really was just blaming like the coaches.
Yeah,
like,
he was.
I thought he could have gone out with an excuse, being like too much in the locker room.
Hey, Dukes, what's your process when you hear like big salacious rumors like that? Do you got like a website you look into? Do you got friends you text? What's your process when that happens?
I immediately text all my Bears friends, all the guys in the northwest suburbs. I'm like, give me all your information. Give me what Wrigleyville's talking about. I want to know what's going on at Butch McGuire's. I need every bit of information.
That's good. Dukes is at the pulse. I feel
Yeah, pulse of the
Finger's
people.
always on the pulse. Well, thank you, Ed. I appreciate you for hopping on because
All right, thank you. I love you guys, even though you're a dick, Mark.
I'm gonna have to stop. I'll slow down on Justin Fields. I know. I just want you guys to tell me I'm right, and I'll do a nice like intervention for you if you want. Like, just let him go. If you lose
You're
hope,
right. So you're right. You're right. As of September 21st, 2023, you're right.
all right. That's all I needed. I will stop until I need.
How many
to get going
primetime?
again.
How many prime? That's the real question. How many primetime games you got?
We got 2 Thursday nights. We got a Sunday night. We got a Monday night. So we got 4 left. So that's not great. One's against the Panthers, though. One's against the Commanders. So it could be worse.
That's even
Why would
worse.
they ever do that?
At least it
Oh
would be
my
fun-
God.
At least it would be funny. The fact that they're going to actually be in the games, or those teams are bad, it makes it even worse. I got to watch bad football.
Bears Panthers. I couldn't imagine anything less I want to watch.
It's a battle. It's a battle for
Big
that
game,
draft
too. We
pick.
got their pick.
Yeah, that's right.
It would have been great if it was Sunday night this week, Chiefs.
Yeah.
Bears. At least we watched the whole world explode. And they get a little bit longer. We get the whole thing play out.
True.
You know, they're dancing around it, the commentators. It'd be funny. So, sorry, Eddie. Yeah, I mean, team's bad.
Yeah. All right, guys. Have a good show.
All right, take it. Good.
Poor Eddie. That was tough.
Yeah, it was tough. All right. You want to do tonight's game now?
Why did I
You jam that in?
Wherever you want. Take the frost off.
We got
No, let's
put our
do-
parlay together. We got to
do. I think we should do like a little college because it's going to lead into Brad. And then
All
we'll
right.
go
So
straight to
this
the
is
end of it.
yeah. If you're a casual college football fan and you're like, I always wanted to get into college, this is the week where just sit in front of the television. By the way, I blogged it before. Did anybody see Chris Russo's clip of what he was going to do?
It was
Saturday?
So it was a weekend plan for kids my age.
Bro, they're like, Chris, you got a big weekend? He's like, let me tell you what I'm going to do, okay? Here's what I'm going to do. He goes, I'll take the dogs for a walk. He's like, I'm going to be by myself, have a cocktail, I'll get sauced up, cut half a gummy, take the half a gummy at 12 o'clock, and then at 3:30, take the other one, call my guy, Fat Rob, put $10K on Colorado, and sit there and watch the game. And Marcus Spears and Stephen A. Smith are going like this. Like, are we on television?
Yeah, what?
What is going on?
That's
And then
wild.
I was listening to morning radio this morning, and they cut the clip after on Twitter. It's only a shorter clip. He mentions that Fat Rob in real life at one point was a priest as well. So like,
What?
Russo was on tilt. It was
took
just
the gummies before.
he probably took the gummies before.
Nothing he said is illegal now.
Yeah, fair enough. But all the stuff him dance, whatever. Hearing Russo say that was just very, very funny. But anyway, and it's perfectly laid out. So you go Florida State, Clemson, even though Clemson's not ranked at 12 o'clock. Is there another one? No. Oregon, Colorado at 3:30. What's another good one? Ole Miss, Alabama at 3:30. Utah, UCLA at 3:30. And then you got the 7 o'clocks, Oregon State, Washington State, State Penn, Iowa, and the big one, Ohio State, Notre Dame. It is timed
Yeah, it's incredible.
perfectly where you don't even have to worry about the rest of the card, like the undercard. Like you have your bets and figure it out, but you are set all day long Saturday.
It really is going to be incredible.
Smitty, you're casual. Clemmer, which one jumps out to you? I know Deion's stealing the show, but I mean, 21 points is 21 points. Which one would you put as the main event? It's Notre Dame, Ohio State to you, or is it still?
That's the one I'm most interested in.
Yeah.
Plus Frank being there, like that adds to my interest level. Like Frank's a big Notre Dame fan.
Yeah, Notre Dame to
To be
him though, is
honest-
still kind of like down the list.
I still think like Ole Miss, Alabama is going to be a really good game, and Florida State, Clemson's still going to be really good too.
See, I don't think the Pac-12. Everyone's talking about Colorado, Oregon. I think if I was ranking them, the ones I want to see the most, UCLA, Utah, and Oregon. I'm telling you, Oregon State, Washington
State's
State
gonna be great.
is going to be nuts, and it's 4 o'clock out there, at the Palouse. It'll get into night. That place is nuts. Stanford Steve told a story on a podcast one time that they got lost in the tunnels. Like they went out for specialists and then came back or something. They got lost in the tunnels. They had to walk with their helmets through the Wazoo fans, like heckling them through this shit. Like crazy shit happens out of Washington State.
Question about the Colorado game. Is it true that the line before last week was plus 14, now it's plus 21?
It was preseason line.
Preseason line, okay.
Yeah, so it wasn't it was preseason line. They were plus 14. Then it's just, but it is crazy.
That's still a little.
I actually
weird.
would have believed Smitty if it went the other way. Like
100%.
Colorado,
I think Vegas is like, they're gonna get so much money on Colorado at 21, and I think Oregon's going to win by 40. I really do. I think
Travis Hunter being out as well is a major weapon.
Huge thing.
That stops the passing game.
I think Bo Nix,
they're going.
It's a nice little. Hey, we got blown out, but we were missing our Heisman guy.
Yeah, no, 100%, and like it's at Oregon too. Like I think Bo Nix is going to have a field day on that Colorado defense.
Marty, that's exactly what I wanted to add really quick. Is Colorado could put up 28. And still lose by 30.
They could lose. They'll probably lose like 70.
I could see Oregon putting up 65.
Yeah, but
100%.
I know Oregon. They love to score a ton of points, and this offense is really good. But they have changed a little bit in the sense of they're not going to score 60 automatically. They change their identity a little bit. They want to play defense and run the ball.
Yes, but this is a personal game too, both ways. I think Lanning knows this is personal from his comments that he made about Colorado not winning shit in the Pac-12. I think Deion's going to use that as a motivation factor. But Travis Hunter, you said it. You said it. Travis Hunter being out opens up an entire other side of the field for Colorado.
It does.
And also, we're talking about a team that lost Travis Hunter in the first quarter and barely beat a bad team. Colorado State is not a good team. And like everyone's happy about it because it's such a good game and it was cool. But like we're talking about a national championship esque team right now in Oregon. Where could you say they can make the
100%,
championship?
100%.
Like they're a team that is in that realm where now they were at home against Colorado State and won in double overtime.
I was talking to Chief about it, and Chief couldn't believe. He's like, should Oregon really be favored by this much? And he's like, Bo Nix. I'm like, listen, Bo Nix turned it around. He couldn't believe. Bo Nix was really bad on the road for Auburn, and everyone remembers that, how bad he was. He really has turned into a stable, reliable, good quarterback. What jumps out to you? It's Ohio State, Notre Dame, or do any of these?
It is. I just want to add one question for you guys. So the over-under in the Colorado-Oregon game is 70.5.
Yeah, I'm taking under. I think I'm in the minority here, but I'm going to take the under.
Can I add something really quick about Oregon? Is somebody in the chat, I don't know who it is, but I'll give him credit. They said Travis J is going to be back. I don't know who that is. They said he shouldn't, he won't be that big of a downgrade for Travis Hunter missing.
I don't know about that.
I agree with that, but I have nothing to rebuttal him, so I'll give him the dub.
Travis Hunter is going to be a top 10 pick in 2 years. I don't know if Travis J is gonna. I don't know either. But
Marty. I hope in 2 years if he's a top.
Travis J is gonna be the number one pick now. But still, Travis
Darrell
Hunter
Revis
is literally the best player we've ever seen.
Tell you what, two great names to follow Travis: Hunter and J.
Is his last name J? Yeah. Or is it just a J?
I'll look it up. Before Brad comes on.
Because I know nothing about Travis J. But it could be his middle name, Jay.
I'm guessing it's Jay.
I'll look it up. I'll look him up, and before Brad comes on, I'll give the lowdown.
It sounds athletic, but it also sounds like when Dave was making fun of Scooter Braun. Oh, Travis J. Oh, Travis J's playing corner. Oh, Travis J's playing corner.
If Notre Dame wins the game against Ohio State, they're 9th right now. Where are they going to be next week?
I'm out. I'm out on the fucking polls.
I think Notre Dame wins.
In all seriousness, they would have had. Is it crazy to say? Well. Some of these other teams can get a big win this week, but Notre Dame would have probably the biggest win in the country so far.
100%.
Easily.
They'll be top 4. They'll be top 3.
Wow.
And then Hartman's
this is just
Heisman.
Massive.
They're 9
they're
right now.
They're already dropped in half. I think it went from 20 to 10.
They're 9 right now. Ohio State's 6.
Yep.
But this is, and I think Notre Dame does win this game. What's the line?
Notre Dame is 3-point underdogs.
Home on.
I like Notre Dame a lot. Sam Hartman is a experienced quarterback, and it's at home. McCord is he just got named the starter last week, and they haven't played anybody yet. Notre Dame hasn't really played one either, but they played with a Navy and
Central Michigan.
And then they play
North Carolina State.
NC State's not like it's still.
Yeah, but they beat the shit out of them.
That's what I'm saying. Notre Dame has been looked very impressive. Ohio State looked like hasn't been scoring a ton. They scored a ton last week, but they haven't. I don't know. I think that Notre Dame wins this game.
I think it might be a situation of what has plagued Ohio State in the past is that tough bully ball trenches stuff. You watch Michigan punch him in the mouth. You watched it's Ohio State. So you watched Oregon when they were a 14-point dog. Remember that?
Yep.
When they beat them and punched him in the mouth.
This
and
line,
they own the
this
line.
line scares
I think
me,
Notre
though.
Dame might own them.
The line scares me. It's Ohio State line at home against like Ohio State's -3 when it's. I thought it was going to be a little like more of a even game, but yeah, it's scary.
I saw a stat about Ohio State of two things. One was Ohio State, when they're less than 5-point favorites at home, they're like 14-0 straight up or like 14-0 against the spread. So they're very rarely this low of a favorite.
When who is?
When Ohio State is like a 3 or 5 point or less favorite.
Road favorite or home favorite?
Home favorite. They're 14-0
It's in Notre
on the
Dame.
road. Ohio State. Okay. Then maybe it was just overall.
Got it.
I just saw like it had to do with this weekend. So 5 points or less favorites, they're like 14-0.
But you go quarterback, just like off quarterbacks. It's you.
Yeah, I mean Hartman's
been
unbelievable.
around.
I think
been,
he's
what is his 5th year? Like, I don't know. It's a tough environment to go into.
Yeah.
Travis Jay also looked him up. Went to Florida State, 4-star prospect.
Okay.
I think it's
Is it Jay?
Career snaps.
Yeah, Jay. He was a 3-star
Not
in
just
the
a letter,
portal.
huh? What a shock.
Career snaps 9.
He was a starter at Florida State. I mean, he probably, I don't know. I could talk myself into him being good.
Yeah.
You can't tell me it's not far off from Travis Hunter.
I mean, 4 to 5
Close.
star. Yeah.
Is he playing offense?
Nah,
Travis
he-
Jay?
Oh, yeah,
I don't
you
think
gotta
so.
play
So
offense.
there you go.
That's what you need. You got to play offense. You got Brad lined up?
I pressed mute on that. I don't see him though.
All right.
He's on, but I don't see him.
Okay.
I see him.
All
Want me
right.
to put him in?
Yeah, you can put him right through.
I don't see him.
Hey, Brad, you do a lot of shows, right? You ever
Yeah.
worked with a producer as good as ours?
It seems like he's the best.
He is.
He actually is.
That boy Dukes.
Good way to go. It. All right. So when you look at
Oh, Brad, don't just no weather. Don't give me weather. Don't give me FCS. This is me and you this week, Brad. Me and you this week.
I gave you LSU last
You
week.
did,
What the
and
hell?
that's
They don't
that's
count
where-
your winners. They-
I don't
they're
count.
never
Yeah,
gonna count
I'm
winners.
going to tell you, I'm selfish in that way because the FCS games excite me more than the LSL. Because I took LSU, and we were both on Florida as well. So the big games. That's what I want this week because there's so many big games. I
Yep.
want your what's right away your best feel on one of these bigger games.
I like the Buckeyes. I really do.
me.
I heard
literally
you guys
just went
talking
on.
about Notre Dame winning the line of scrimmage. I don't think that's the case. I think Ohio
Really?
State wins the line of scrimmage. I'm concerned about Notre Dame at the line of scrimmage. Center guard is not where it needs to be for Notre Dame. Their tackles get all the credit. Joe Alt's great at left tackle, maybe the best in the country, but that interior of the offensive line is very concerning for Notre Dame. Ohio State's better up front, especially defensively than what they've been. Offensive line for Ohio State, we're going to see what they have, but I don't like Notre Dame's defensive front. They don't have any big 300-pounders in the middle. So if you pop in the tape from last year, obviously Notre Dame exceeded expectations. But what happened in the final 20 minutes of that game? Ohio State dominated the line of scrimmage. We'll see that on Saturday night. Let's go ahead. Best bet, Ohio State -3.
Interesting. But in fairness, Notre Dame was playing with 2 guys that ended up being cast off to Uzbekistan as terms of quarterbacks. Now we got a Heisman frontrunner. This was really coming out of Chief's mouth as well, too. He's like, he's a big Notre Dame fan. So he's like, the 2 guys last year, Pike and whoever ended up getting cast off, whatever. It's like now we got Hartman. I think that changes the game as well.
Yeah, no question. I mean, you can't just see one side of a handicap on a game. Otherwise, the line would just continue to move in one direction. So obviously Notre Dame's at home and they have the better quarterback. So I could see that side of the handicap. It was Pine and Buckner, and obviously they were terrible.
Yeah.
I just think a couple of hidden factors here. Number one, I sent this to you. Notre Dame doesn't win these games. They're 4-19 last 30 years in top 10 matchups. They just don't win these games. They did when I was a little kid. They haven't, recently. And then on top of it, there's going to be a lot of Buckeye fans in the crowd. And I've seen Notre Dame Stadium getting taken over by opposing fans. They haven't won any of those games. So like 0-4 when there's been a sea of reds like Georgia a few years ago.
Yeah. The other one that jumps out, it's not necessarily a ranked matchup, but it is a big deal. Florida State minus the 2.5 at Clemson. I've seen that 90% of the public here is on Florida State. And I want to be careful because I was the square type of guy to take Colorado against Nebraska. I was the square guy to take Oregon against Texas Tech when that covered. I want to make sure I'm not putting my hand in the trap here too much and playing with it where I eventually get nailed. But I don't want to root for Clemson. The smart side seems to be Clemson here, but I just don't I don't want to root for Dabo. I don't think they're that good. Couldn't the Squares get away with this here, or should this be a Clemson play?
I'm not wild about this, but I lean Clemson. I haven't ran to the window yet. I need a 3 to get more involved. I'm not sure it's going to show because we've seen some back and forth in the marketplace. And Florida State's not as bad as what they looked last week, obviously. They're probably looking ahead, and once they got up 3 touchdowns, they put the offense to sleep in the second half against BC. They're also probably not as good as that 20-minute stretch against LSU where they dominated the Tigers, but I mean, obviously that data point is more impressive than anything we've seen from Clemson so far. I just go back to this, Rico. I mean, I like outliers. Clemson hasn't been a home dog in 7 years. Whenever I could take points with Clemson at home, I'm going to do so. So lean Clemson.
I think a phrase being thrown around is Alabama is not what they were. Is that something that Saban can make us all look like idiots when people think he's down and out? Or is Alabama just straight up human?
I got Clemson. Yeah, I got Alabama's power rating as low as any point in the last 15 years. Deservedly so. I thought last week's game was their worst performance in 15 years. That was a legitimate type game.
It was the only one on the list. It was the only one on the list that didn't cover.
Yeah. The big favorites. Yeah, that was
4-1.
Yeah, that was terrible though. Let's talk this week though. I get it. I think Ole Miss is going to have some success offensively. But, man, I like the move back to Milroe at quarterback. And my goodness, I mean, just a couple weeks ago, they're laying 7 against Texas at home. Texas is much better than Ole Miss. So I think there's been too much of a downgrade in the marketplace on poor old Alabama. Now that it's come back down through 7, let's go ahead and lay it with the Crimson Tide.
I agree with that, actually. I was thinking this because this is when they win, and Texas is, like so much better than Ole Miss. There's one game that isn't like the sexy game, but I've been looking at this team who scores a ton of points, and it's Oklahoma-Cincinnati. What's your thoughts on Oklahoma?
I like the
You think they're for real?
They played 3 tomato cans, and the one team with a pulse they played, SMU, that was a 14-11 game in the fourth quarter. So I'm not there yet on them. I mean, kudos, they crushed Arkansas State and Tulsa last week. We'll find out a little bit more this week against Cincinnati on the road. But, I mean, Cincinnati, oh, my goodness, what a terrible loss last week against Miami, Ohio. I'm not too involved in this one. I laid an early number with Oklahoma, but, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
The 2 games that are most intriguing to me as well, the Pac-12 one. So Utah, UCLA, if you have a play on that, but more so Oregon State laying the 2.5 going at the Palouse where we know crazy shit happens. Is Washington State maybe the most disrespected team in the country or on the card here? Or does Oregon State really have the pedigree that they should be favored?
Yeah, I'll start with the latter. I kind of like Oregon State. I just think they're a more complete team up front. Washington State's been a great story, but they benefited from turnovers against Wisconsin, and they're not there in the run game. They're too one-dimensional offensively for me in the pass game. Tough place to play, but I think after Oregon State had a meandering performance last week against San Diego State, I think they're more buttoned up this week. Give me the Beavers there. And then the other game, little inside info, I think Cam Rising's going to play for Utah. So
yeah, but how's he going to look with a couple of weeks of layoff?
He can be rusty, but I mean, you're going to take Dante Moore, road start in Salt Lake City, a true freshman quarterback. I'm not. Utah for me.
No, Dukes, you had a Ohio State stat. You want to give that one?
Yeah, it's like it was kind of a BS stat that I more than I thought, but here it is.
We'll read it out.
In one of the Ohio State is just a 3-point favorite traveling to Notre Dame. A line this low for Ohio State is rare. Ohio State is 14-0 against the spread in the regular season when they are not a 5+ point favorite, and the total is under 69. The last point of it, under 69, like that's why I think it's a BS stat, but the rest of it was pretty intriguing.
Yeah, I mean, to the point of Clemson, they're never a dog, so you got to take that shot. Ohio State never really a low favorite. They do well in that spot. Seems like it makes sense. You can make anything out of a stat.
Yeah.
Right.
Left-handed quarterbacks west of the Mississippi after 10:30 start times are 23-1 since 2005. When you exclude games involving Colorado and Utah, yeah, you can do all that.
I love it. That's how you. Hey, I'm 7-2 in my last picks on Thursday nights. Like you could do that.
There you go.
Makes us look good.
What's the whale play then? What's the monster whale play tonight then? I need your pick.
No, I was just throwing out a stat to make myself look good. That's not true. All right, so everybody is focused on the top 25. You're a money in the crumbs guy as well, or looking outside the radar. What is something off the grid that might not be getting a lot of action that you love, or a ranked team to go down? What's jumping out? Because everybody wants to get on these top 25s, and I feel like those lines are all very sharp. Where is there money to be made outside of the top tier games?
I like Jacksonville State against Eastern Michigan. Let's go ahead and lay the 6.5. Eastern Michigan's getting treated like they've been the last couple of years, like a good team. They're 2-1. They should have lost to UMass at home last week. They're +3 in turnovers and still only won by 2. Howard should have beat them a couple weeks ago. Minnesota should have covered against them. Jacksonville State's off a bye. Rich Rod running tempo. They blow out Eastern Michigan.
Oh my!
You follow him on Twitter? You know he breaks down tape on every game.
I know. I follow him on Twitter. You don't think I'm taking Jacksonville State?
What about you touched on SMU giving Oklahoma a shot? I like SMU outright here against TCU. Am I crazy?
I bet it. I took SMU.
Okay.
I'm telling you, pop in that Oklahoma tape. They played Oklahoma pretty even.
Yep.
And I tweeted after it. I said, I mean, if Pratt for Tulane's not healthy, SMU is the best group of 5 team in the country.
I'm not excited about this pick that I'm going to give you, and I want to know your thoughts. The team that has not looked good the past 2 weeks, but are +7.5 at home, and I'm taking a money line. Pitt against UNC.
Oh.
It's a plug your nose game.
UNC.
But you think it's a bad pick?
I like UNC, but I feel like a square.
7.5? Like, that's, of course, the first thing I thought of was UNC has to blow them out.
Jerkovich has not looked good.
Pitt scored 6 points against West Virginia last week. Like, why?
I can't get there, man. I mean, I wouldn't be stunned. I mean, I see where you're going with it because Narduzzi, back against the wall. He usually has one upset a year. Mac Brown's, last I checked, still coaching North Carolina. He's good to lose one of these games. But
always.
Jerkovic versus Drake May. I don't want Jerkovic.
No, not at all. But that's why I'm like, dude, this is such a game where I could see, like, UNC lost that game. Like, no one expects them to lose that game. They'll beat, like, Clemson or something next. Like, I don't know. It's such a bad game.
I like that line. It reminds me of when, like, we're at the March Madness streams or at the Super Bowl and these UFC fights are random nights, and Ev talks us into a guy of who to take, and they come walking out of the tunnel. I go, hold on, we got that guy? When you just look physically, like, that's the line that reminded me. Dukes, what do you got?
Brad, I have a question about UMass, New Mexico. I'm leaning UMass. I like UMass. Do you have any thoughts on that game and that line?
Tough because UMass in a unique role. They're favored by more than a field goal now. Tough spot for New Mexico across the country off an upset loss to their rival, New Mexico State. I think their coach is going to be let go after that loss. UMass is much improved. Should have won last week. I think UMass is the correct side. I haven't bet it yet, but I think there's a sharper side.
And then I guess 2 more games I have. UConn, Duke. I'm leaning UConn. I think after that loss to FIU, they show some fight. Any value there with the 21.5?
Oof. No, I don't like it. I mean, UConn. And then they look good against NC State, but I'm not sure NC State's that good. I mean, losing to FIU at home as a touchdown favorite wasn't good. And then I'm telling you, Duke is for real. And I got Rico likes these spots. Duke against Notre Dame next week. If Notre Dame beats me on the best bet and beats Ohio State, we're going to be betting Duke against Notre Dame next week. I love this Duke team.
Off a letdown.
And then the last game I have is Rice at South Florida. South Florida catching 2.5. I think that offense is good, but I don't know if it's a down spot after that Alabama game.
It's one I haven't gotten involved on the side. I like the over, though. Rice has been super efficient offensively. And look, I know they only scored 3 points, but that quarterback for South Florida running around, I like over 58.
Yeah, they got athletes all over the field. They could put them up.
Yep.
I'll give you one last one because a lot of people call about this, and they're very down on this team. It feels like we get a lot of calls about this team, and they're like, be afraid, be afraid. Maryland. The Maryland fans know that they Maryland and fuck up at some point in the season. Is it this week? They're 3-0. Is it this week at Michigan State, who's had a lot of problems off the field, or is it next week against Indiana when you fade them on the money line? Or it might be famous last words, is Maryland really for real, and they'll be 5-0 going to Ohio State, Columbus Day weekend?
I mean, they'll be favored to go 5-0. I don't trust them. I can't bet at the current numbers. I can't bet this game. Michigan State was such a dumpster fire last week. Probably should have lost by 60 to Washington. Man, I bet Maryland early in the week, but I can't lay 7.5 now.
It wouldn't shock you if they get outright upset, though, right?
No, I wouldn't be stunned.
Yeah, that's just
I haven't liked what I saw from them. I mean, they were pathetic the first 2 games, and then down. They're off. It all depends on the start. They've gotten off to extremely slow starts the last couple of weeks.
That's what they do. So, all right, check out Brad. Appreciate it. We'll get you in next week, and good luck to the Buckeyes, obviously.
All right, see you guys.
Thanks.
Jacksonville State.
What?
And
Jacksonville State. Well, he knows Jacksonville State.
I understand. That's the game.
Yeah.
That we
all right, let's touch. So we got the NFL tonight. Giants probably without Saquon, or likely without Saquon.
Oh, definitely.
He was ruled out.
Definitely without
Chill
Saquon.
And Andrew Thomas is out.
Yeah, I don't like that as well.
No.
I think this is one maybe you can try and stick around, catch the 49ers on a bad night, but I'm not expecting a win. I expect
So
a long
you say the Bears can beat the Chiefs. Why can't the Giants beat the 49ers?
Honestly, we have a chance, obviously,
For
but
sure.
I'm not expecting to win.
We get Wandale back.
Yeah, I'm not expecting. Yeah, I'm not expecting to win tonight.
Let me
I'm not
actually,
going in with a
I
great-
want to do this right now because us 3 are going to be on the stream, correct?
Yep.
I want all in on a bet.
Yes,
And
I
I
agree.
want to. I'm gonna hammer it too. Like I want us all going nuts on this stream for this pick, and I'm gonna give you a couple, and it's gonna be Giants picks. I'm gonna tell you.
I like Breida over 12.5 receiving yards.
Oh God, that's gonna be
Just
awful.
on my felt.
Okay, what about Daniel Jones over 215 yards?
Passing?
Yeah. Or Daniel Jones to score a touchdown plus 250.
That seems a little obvious.
Plus 250.
How about Nick Bosa? It's a sack.
How about Nick Bosa scores a touchdown?
Nick Bosa, a sack.
Nick
Minus
Bosa
125.
throws an interception.
All right, we'll do this after. Like
I like
pick the one after.
I like Breida's receiving yards. I could see a dump off. I could see a screen.
No, I get it. It's just
In trouble. I
that's
think they're
why
gonna be coming
the
with
only thing I'm
pressure.
doing the passing yards for Jones is one where I think we're going to be down, so I don't think we'll be running a lot. And 215 yards isn't a crazy amount for him.
I think this game is very weird to look at.
Yes.
Very weird. I don't know if the Giants are going to come out. Well, this is a huge game for the Giants, obviously, because you know the 49ers are going to be what they are all season. Are the Giants going to come out and lay an egg and eventually basically shit on the entire season, or are they going to compete and like make a run possibly for a wild card? Like, I honestly don't know. So all I got tonight, George Kittle, anytime touchdown.
You can't.
They're going to
have-
fucking feed him.
That's what was so
Or-
frustrating about the Cowboy game. It's like they went and just got punched in the mouth.
Is
They
Ayuk
didn't even
playing?
Show up. What?
Is Ayuk playing? Ayuk?
I didn't
haven't
see an
heard he wasn't.
updated injury report on
Thought
that.
he was hurt.
I think that the Giants, you can't have more momentum going into this game. You can't. You literally
Off
were
that big win.
off. I don't care. It's against the Cardinals. You could have played literally the school of the blind. They'd have.
I feel like
momentum.
Dabble's guys get.
They've been in. They haven't.
Those guys
They
get
didn't
ready.
travel back. They stayed in the out
Get ready to
west.
go, but I mean, the opening week should send shivers down your sack
100%.
about Dabble like
100%.
across the board.
But that started off. It's a.
Do you think
you know,
the Rams are good?
I think the Rams are okay.
They stayed in the game against
Yeah.
49ers.
Do you think they scored 2 touchdowns, the Giants?
Yes.
I'm hammering the under tonight.
I have a play that I've been considering all morning. I want to get your guys' thoughts. Daniel Jones to score a touchdown either on a QB sneak or read option. I don't think Breida is really going to be the goal line guy for them. Second one, Darren Waller. Who's going to be the red zone options now that Saquon's out? You have to. That was my mentality. So I was thinking Jones or Waller. What are your guys' thoughts?
I think Jones. I think they're gonna fucking do RP. They're gonna do RPO like so many times. I think Daniel Jones touchdown plus 250 is a great value because Breida's not the biggest guy in the
I don't
world.
think they're gonna have that many red zone opportunities.
I
I
think
think the
yeah.
Giants are not gonna do well offensively tonight.
I agree with you. I think it's always safe to go with over 3.5 field goals too.
Like the Rams had
hate that.
had their kind of way with like Nakua Pakua, whatever his name was at 180 yards.
What's his name?
I don't
Puka
know.
Nacua.
Puka Nacua, switch them up.
You were close, Marty.
But like he had 160 yards against the 49ers. I think with opening up Hyatt, like I think that the Giants figured out their offense a little bit. I know it was against the Cardinals. I get that. But I don't know. I don't think it's going to be that. You think it's going to be that much of a blowout tonight?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I could talk
Well,
you.
I'm taking the under, but I think that because the Giants just don't score.
So in terms of looking at the Giants' stats, the leading receptions is Barkley and Waller. So that makes me think Rita's going to get some of these design little dump-offs. Barkley has 9 receptions.
Yeah, well, that's
12 yards and 41. Now he's Saquon.
It's also Saquon.
He's 100%
He's
better.
not Breida.
But in terms of that design, I feel like Breida might get a little bit of a look.
It's
12
scary.
yards?
It's scary to me because
It could happen in one play.
Exactly.
I get that. I get it. Believe me, I see that. I like the bet. I'm just playing in devil's advocate. I don't know how they're going to use him. I don't know, but I do think they're going to use Hyatt a lot today downfield. I think they opened that up. I know. I understand why you think they're going to get blown. I have a weird feeling about tonight.
The defense has to come to play. It's anything with the Giants. They said we had no shot against Brady. I know that's 100 years ago, but you just got to get pressure to the defense. You got to get pressure on Purdy. That's what you got to do.
Can I sell you on this? I think that the 49ers are the best team in the NFL. And I will not be taking this bet, but if I was a Giants fan, this is how I would talk myself into the win. If you go up 7-0, 10-0, I don't know if Brock Purdy is built for comebacks.
Yeah.
That offense isn't really designed. Like you're forcing Brock Purdy to throw 25, 30 times a game to 40, 45 to really. If the Giants take a lead, you're in a good spot with Giants money line.
Yeah,
but that's the biggest if of all time because the 49ers are so fucking good.
And you need a lot more of a 10-0 lead for them to just abandon their offense and run and put it in Brock Purdy's hands. Like it needs to be a 20-0 halftime lead.
But you get my point, though,
the Giants
right?
front line, like the defensive line, though, is like I understand it hasn't looked great, but I did see a stat. They are at the top of the league without blitzing, getting the most pressure on the quarterback. And that's just a stat. I saw it. It's if they can contain McCaffrey, which is a huge if. That's the if because McCaffrey's a problem. They have a chance. I don't know.
You guys don't like that Joey Bosa sack bet? No. I think that Jones is going to be passing a lot.
He's also is going against Neal, who is.
You could put it in if it's in the parlay. Is it available in the Parlay Plus?
Yes,
gotta click Parlay Plus.
Yeah, I mean. I was gonna
put it together.
I will put it together, but Chad has a dub. Did you know what's going on this weekend with the Giants? Where they're playing?
San Fran.
The Giants' yearly picnic.
Oh
God.
Are the Giants home right now? Because if the Giants are
hold on, bear with me.
Are the Giants gonna have dinner with the Giants?
Yeah. Henrik Lundqvist is very fun.
And listen, the Giants have stayed out. Like they didn't travel for this.
Oh, they were out there. Arizona.
They traveled an hour. Hey, we worked out Justin Pugh too.
I like that.
Bring him back.
Giants are away.
They just played Gallon, and then they got the Dodgers.
Damn.
So there you go, dude.
Hey, they were in Arizona though, so like.
Maybe they met up.
Maybe they met up.
Quick lunch.
Yeah.
All right.
If the Giants and the Giants ever have dinner, I will be hammering whoever plays next.
Let's put it together, Smitty. What do you like?
Oh, I thought I was regulated.
You were.
You are. Yeah, you are.
All right, buddy.
See you next week.
Yeah, Kittle over 3.5 receptions would be mine.
Okay. Doesn't count. You're right. You're
He's relegated. We have to stay by the rules.
Next week.
It's like just like the Mets' existence this year. Just wash it away.
We're not relegated though.
I'm going.
I almost want to take that so I don't get on the hook for the Breida.
Not bad.
Daniel Jones over 215 yards is mine.
Fine. I'll take Breida over 12.5.
And I'm taking Nick Bosa, over half a sack.
All right.
And we'll try and get.
Am I called up?
Actually, yeah. Call up because Miguel's not here.
Last time someone got relegated on a pick show, I never looked back and I ended up winning the award.
Okay.
Remember that, Rico?
Yeah, I remember that.
What's your mortal this weekend, by the way?
It's Louisville.
Oh, going back to the well.
Yeah, they're good. BC's good, but
I'm going Darren Waller to score a touchdown.
So
you're doing what Big Ev would have done.
Yeah, I'm taking the Big Ev. Like someone needs it.
The Giants are a 12-point dog or a 10-point dog tonight, and we have all Giants. Probably.
Me.
Yeah, both on a sack. All right, put it together, see what it pays out.
Right.
We'll end with this. I touched on it yesterday.
So Kittle hits and somebody doesn't. I'm back up.
No, you're back next.
You're back next week regardless.
What? Yours? Well, unless this hits. If it all
if it
hits.
Oh yeah, but yeah.
No.
All right, wait. Let's do this. What else you got in baseball? You still get the Phillies. We're still riding the Phillies.
Wait, I'm sorry. I like that actually though. I think that he could only be back if his your one picks to yourself, what it would have been. So
Right.
like if Kittle hits 3.5, he's back.
Okay.
But if it doesn't, he's not back.
Okay,
I think that's how you get back.
Yeah, you
by
gotta
winning
still
one.
give a pick
I like
out.
that.
Okay.
I like that. But yeah, sorry.
You're on like Redemption Island in Survivor. And
Yes.
you have to win.
You win your challenge.
Gotta win a
On my
challenge.
way back. I'm Napoleon it. Give me a fucking elbow. Phillies magic number 6. They just beat the Braves, who are,
Thank you.
not tanking, but I mean, they took 2 or 3 of the Braves. They need to go 6-4 to hit their over of the year, 88.5. They got the Mets, Pirates, Mets. They pretty much have the number 1 spot kind of locked up. They're 2.5 above the Diamondbacks. If the Phillies play 500 ball, the Diamondbacks essentially need to go undefeated to lose the number 1 spot.
You guys had that
So
number 1 spot.
That's good. So pretty much who they're gonna play, which I would like to play anybody but the Marlins kind of at home. I think the Marlins give the Phillies fits, but it should be a pretty easy series, no matter who they play.
You guys will play the Diamondbacks most likely, right?
You
now.
think that's
Needs can shift, but
you think that's going to be an easy series?
What?
It's the Diamondbacks?
I think okay. Let me
Allen and Kelly?
Let me rephrase
I
it.
do.
No matter what, unless they face the Marlins, they should win that series.
Reds are out, right?
No,
no, Reds right in the mix.
In a miracle to
Reds,
get in, but
Marlins, and
like
Cubs
the division
are all fighting.
just
I would
absolutely
like
collapsed.
to play the Reds, Giants, and then Cubs, Diamondbacks, Marlins.
Dude,
Right
you're taking a
back there,
deep breath?
Yeah. Clemmer, you can't record.
Nothing phases.
Yeah, because I'm putting together the same game
Yeah,
parlay.
You're good.
Yeah.
You're good. I got it.
Sorry, I'm a little
You're
heated.
fucking
You
get
can't.
mad.
All right, what's going on, buddy? What's going on?
What's the parlay?
You can't do sack.
Yeah, the sack.
Could you do first New York Giants drive outcome being a punt?
No, I'm not even looking it up, but you
parlay
can't.
plus.
Yeah, it's got to be more. It's more of just a prop. Like
You got about 30 seconds, or I'm giving it to Smith.
I had a nice one too. God.
What are
Get
you?
one there, baby.
What are you playing tonight?
I'm taking Giants plus 10.5. I just have to. I also have Jones to score plus 250 and Dan Jones over 215 yards. I do think we should also take a first touchdown guy tonight, but we'll do that later.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I don't know. I think there's gonna be a lot of field goals.
Oh, Big Abs on the Kittle anytime TD too.
Okay.
Over 3.5 field goals, baby.
Yeah, I like that.
Can that go on there? Can we count that as part of the prop? The 3.5 field goals. I like that.
That Rays pick
Oh,
minus
look.
1.5 is a good.
No, it
pick
is
You have to
after
give
their
me
loss
credit though if
yesterday.
it wins.
All right, you'll get credit. I mean, I like the under.
Booth?
I like the under tonight. Can that go in there?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
I
under
can,
can
yeah,
go in
that's
there.
yeah.
Yeah, do
All right,
that. I
under.
mean, that's my pick anyway. The under. Do that.
All right, under.
All right, that's
105, I think, for the under.
I'm looking it up. It's plus 290. Plus 3,290.
Wow.
So $10 wins you 329.
Jesus Christ.
Low.
No.
That's abnormally high.
It's really high.
What is it again?
$100 wins you 3,200.
Yeah.
Oh. I thought
all
he said
right.
only plus 390.
No.
Here's Ev's picks.
It said 3290.
Oh, 3290. Okay, yeah, that's pretty big. All right, I like that. All right, it's Big F's picks. All right, Barstool Radio up next. That was Pick Central.
Max Fried over 17.5 outs tonight, by the way.
That's what you're going with? All right.